There are several OCFS resources available to assist caregivers in communicating with families during times of transition or serious incident. They include the Child Care Attendant Sheet, the Daycare Registration Form or Blue Card, and the Incident Report for Child Daycare. Licensor Jim Pedinato explains.
The Child Care Attendant Sheet is a very important tool for communication between providers and parents. You have a lot of specific information which is logged in there. It actually covers meals if they're participating in ECETP, but more importantly, it also covers login time, what time they're arriving at the program, what time they're leaving, and it touches on health status. So a health check is required to be done by program every day. So there's a box on there which will be checked if a health check has been conducted. Supervision is paramount when you're in these programs. You got little guys running around. You really need to know how many kids you have at all times. So keeping up to date with this form on who's been signed in, who's not in, who had to leave early is really important as circumstances are constantly changing, and teachers have a huge responsibility of making sure they know who's in their room or out on the playground at any given time. God forbid there's an emergency, children need to evacuate. Teachers really need to account for each and every kid that is there. So they need to know who is there in spite of all the ongoings during the day. And then emergency personnel, they may also need to know, take those sheets and see who is there if they need to do something about it. The Daycare Registration Form or Blue Card is very important. It doesn't have to be blue, but there's lots of data which is important on there. Start off with contact information. These blue cards should be updated on an ongoing basis because contact info changes. Many times throughout the day, a provider may need to get a hold of parents, so they need to know the best way to get a hold of them. There's also a lot of other aspects that are important on there, such as who can remove the child in case of emergency. Another important facet of the blue card is medical consent for emergency care. If a child is injured and they do need to get medical treatment, that box needs to be checked so that they can get the appropriate treatment. The incident report form is a very important form. Recently it was revised, and basically it covers the who, what, the when, the where of an incident which could occur in child care. Usually you're dealing with children being injured. It's very important that providers fill that out with all the detail in there and be as specific as possible. Us licensors need to have that specific information so that if we're looking into a matter, we can take that information and talk to the people in there. If a child comes home with a bump or bruise, it can be very alarming for a parent. They can really question why it happened. So they want to know a lot of information surrounding that as to what happened, who was there, how could this happen. So not only filling out the form, but filling it out with specifics and with detail and showing that the child was treated adequately medically is very important. And then the quick follow-up to the parent so that they can look at the form, they can sign it and be notified, which is usually at pickup the same day.
To access these forms and other helpful resources, please visit the OCFS website.